Hey, what up, everybody, and welcome to episode number 158 of the Unknown Games podcast. I'm your host, Adrian, and joined with me today, as always, the co-host, the one, here for all 2 years. I think we've been here for 2 years, almost 3, actually. Alex, what's up, man?
I'm a guy. Thank you, whoever.
This is time number 4 or 5, man. I'm losing count. You can't keep dying on me. You gotta stay alive, man. You gotta stay alive.
What's up?
You gotta stay alive. Yes. So today we've got a nice little show. We took a week off from last week. I'm still undergoing dental.
Oh wait, I forgot about that. Yeah,
it's not, I'm like throwing air quotes up dental surgery, but I'm still.
Yeah, how's your face?
It's weird. Every day is a little bit weirder and weirder. So I had a root canal, and here in Japan, like. I mean, the surgery in the U.S. with insurance could have cost anywhere from like $300 to $1,200.
That's so pricey, dude. What the fuck?
But here it was like for step 1 of the actual root canal itself was just $50.
Well, that's really cheap.
With the insurance, it was $50, $3 for the painkillers, and
that's what universal health care will do for you.
That's what it'll do for you. The converse is, as opposed to the U.S. where we would do it all at one time, Japan is like, hey man, we need you for
to come
insurance.
Back.
Yeah, for insurance purposes, I have to go back 4 additional times. So I finished my first of 4. I've got 3 more left, and I haven't been in any pain or anything, but my tooth is like really sensitive. At least after the initial when they kind of have to tinker with the nerves and where the nerves used to be.
So I didn't know. Yeah, so I didn't know that was a thing. So the first time, like when I came to Japan, when I moved here, and I got just a regular teeth cleaning.
Yeah.
So I showed up, and they're like, "Oh, we'll clean like the top, like your top teeth." And I was like, "Sure, sounds good." And then they cleaned those, right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, "All right, we're done. I'm like, "What about the bottom teeth?" And they're like, "Oh, we have to schedule that for like next time."
What the heck?
Yeah, and I was like. And then I was like, well, I'm free like now.
Wait. Yeah. Like, even so all of my cleanings, the only thing I've ever had to say was it happens so fast. Like they do it in like 30 minutes or less. And it's just like, and it was top and bottom for me, but I've never had them split the cleaning. That's insane, man.
Yeah. So they just clean like the top half of my teeth. And then they're like, oh, we'll schedule like when you get to come in for the bottom teeth or your next appointment.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and I was like, "Oh, I'm like free. I'm free right now." And they're like, "No, you have to do it like another day." And I was like, "I'm free tomorrow."
Tomorrow? Like,
yeah.
You want me to come in tomorrow? Like, literally the bottom. It wouldn't take them that long to do that cleaning.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, so I got it scheduled for like the 2 days later, or something like that. But yeah, that's how it is in Japan. So that was a bit of a culture shock thing for me. So if you ever move to Japan, you'll probably come across the same kind of deal too. But like. They'll split up your, not just dentists, I guess, but like they'll split up any other medical procedure into a couple appointments. And I didn't know this at the time, but you just mentioned it now. It's for insurance reasons. Like one procedure cannot be more than, I forget how much it is. Like, is it $50 or $100 or something like that?
But I guess so, because I took out $100 thinking I was gonna have to pay that much, and they're like, "Yo, here it's just like $30-$50." I'm like, "Huh? Excuse me?"
Yeah, so basically for insurance purposes, so your insurance will cover it, and you don't spend a lot out of pocket. They break your procedures into multiple procedures, so it doesn't cost like so much money. And I didn't know this at the time. So yeah, when they're like, "Oh, we're done your top when you want to do your bottom teeth," and I was like, I don't know, now would be a good time.
So it's crazy. I mean, it's a difference in the way the systems are, and especially even the fact that when the first time I had anesthesia, they'll apply a local anesthetic to your mouth to numb it and everything. But I sometimes forget that a lot of the kind of painkillers or like, Tylenol, whatever, those medicines are actually weaker than the Western counterparts. So halfway through the root canal procedure, dude, it wore off. And I felt it. I felt whatever they were doing, and I just went, ouch. I mean, like, I almost shot up, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll put some more in there. And they
drug you up, yeah.
Dude, they put so much in there that I didn't feel my mouth until like 11 o'clock that night, like 7 hours afterwards.
They double down on it?
That's so funny. They double down. So the next time I came into the office, this time I was like, do I get the anesthetic? And then they're like, no, you have no nerve in the tooth. You don't have any feeling there. I'm
You
like,
can't
but
feel it. Yeah.
yeah. And I'm still just like, but do I get it? And they're like, why do you want it? I'm just like, I don't
Just
know. I'm
insurance.
I'm from the West, man.
Yeah.
We're addicted to drugs or something.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyways, everyone. So I'll be doing that every week for the next three Fridays, basically. Wonderful times. But we are a podcast about video games, and I got to say thanks to everyone who has who's been following the YouTube channel, who's been liking the videos, our new subscribers. Got to say thanks to you all. And if you're listening on iTunes, Google Play Podcast, or any of those other places, Spotify, thanks for listening there, and definitely leave some reviews. Leave those stars, 5 of them. We don't want 2.
Yeah,
5.
we'll come find you. Yeah.
We will come and find you. And I mean, this week there's not too much that's been going on in terms of games. We did have Wild Hearts release, which that's been getting pretty good reviews. A little weird tech issues.
Unless you're on PC, then it's not.
Yeah, it's been kind of weird with PC. PC's gone from like the great standard to everyone trying to develop for it, but being like, we kind of messed some stuff up. We'll get that patch later.
I mean, I think it's. Well, it depends on the studio. Obviously, if it's a studio that's known for PC games, they're unlikely to.
This is Koei Tecmo, and they show ain't.
No, they're not. Yeah, exactly.
They're not. No, they're not.
Yeah,
they're not.
I had this. I was talking to someone about this, and we were just like, you know what it probably is, and this is the same thing that happened with Nier Replicant, but they probably like ran it, and they're like, oh, it runs the same as it does on a PS5. Ship it.
Remember what was the thing with
30
Nier?
frames.
It was the monitor issue, like the
right. Okay, so for Nier Replicant, so what that was
it was actually dumb.
yeah. So if the frame rate of the video, if your computer was running it at a higher frame rate, over 60 frames, the game speed, like just the game itself, was running in fast, like in fast forward, super speed. So if you had a decently powerful rig and you're running Nier at like 120 frames per second, you were basically running Nier at double speed. And I suspect rather, that it was that the devs, whoever was developing the PC port, only had a monitor that capped out at 60 frames, like 60 hertz rather, 60 hertz.
Yeah.
And then they were running the game in borderless windowed, and what borderless window does is the frame rate caps out at your monitor's refresh rate, which would have been 60 in this case, and the game is running normally. So they're like, okay, game's running normal, let's ship it. Not testing it on a monitor that goes over 60 hertz, which is basically any gaming monitor.
You know, the whole borderless window thing kind of makes sense now for Nier, just considering the fact that Nier Automata on PC had the whole. Like, I mean, you could put the game in full screen, but it defaulted to borderless windowed, if I remember.
Automata had a different bug.
different
had a different bug where the internal resolution of the game was 720p. If you ran the game in normal window, not borderless, normal window, so the window that has like the minimize and the maximize and the X button. Like a normal window.
Yeah.
If you ran it in that, it would always scale to whatever resolution you set it at. But if you ran the game in full screen, because you're like, oh, I don't want those, I want to play in a full screen.
Yeah. Exactly.
The internal resolution was 720p. So if you were playing in any monitor, basically that was over 720, so any monitor made in the last like 15 years, it looked like garbage.
It did.
It looked so bad.
You need those mod tools. I think
and then you needed to mod the game so that it would run in borderless windowed, so it looked like full screen, but was running in a window so that it would run at the proper resolution. So that was the problem with Automata.
And then Elden Ring to follow it up with the weirdest one of them all. Maybe not the weirdest.
It didn't use the GPU.
It didn't use the GPU.
Well, the problem with Wild Hearts, we didn't even really want to talk about this, but the problem with Wild Hearts, to loop back, is apparently it only ran on a single CPU core. So
and it's so weird. If you switch it to is it 7.1 5.1 surround sound instead of stereo, it runs the frame rates actually like are alleviate your CPU alleviated. That's a fix. That's one of the fixes. That's one of the main fix. Switch the sound over.
I really think like the devs were just like, oh, let's set it to whatever runs on console. And oh, looks good. Game's running fine.
Good.
Ship it.
You know, it works, you know? I mean, honestly, and if you are playing Wild Hearts, definitely go ahead and let us know your experience on it. I've been looking at it, you know, streams for people playing it, and there's some crazy weapons. It is different than Monster Hunter. The skill trees, the way that those work are different. The kind of Fortnite building, persistent world aspect of it as well is a difference there. So there's some cool things in the game and in the way that it looks and plays. And I think a lot of us, even myself, I forgot that, you know, they had done Tokiden. You know, it's not like
Oh
their
yeah,
first
they did.
foray.
So Koei Tecmo, yeah,
Yeah.
Koei Tecmo's done. So was it that studio they did Tokiden? They also did. Well, they're known for Dynasty Warriors, right?
Yeah, this is the Wu Force, yeah.
Yeah,
Omega
yeah.
Force or
Omega
yeah.
Force, yeah. So
Yeah.
they did that. They also all the Muso games even.
There
so
are the
Zelda,
Muso games typically.
Yeah, Zelda Muso and yeah.
So
What was the last Muso game that came out?
oh gosh. What was the last Muso game? It wasn't a One Piece one. It was was it Zelda?
Was it Zelda 2? Was it the Zelda
Was
Muso
it Zelda
2?
the 2 one? Maybe.
Yeah, anyways.
We've had a couple of that. There's been like a bunch of different franchises under that banner.
Yeah.
But today we are going to we're going to talk about these anniversaries for Metal Gear Rising with their 10th anniversary, and then we've also got Apex Legends for their 4th year anniversary.
That's so terrifying. Yeah, when they said like thanks for 4 years, like 4 years, that's all right. That
Dude,
can't be
I
right.
remember the 2nd year. I don't remember the 3rd year, and then now we're on 4th year. And I guess maybe I know I was playing a little bit still in the 3rd year, but maybe. I did drop off in year 3. I did drop off midway through year 3. But yeah, Apex Legends coming in with some pretty big revamps this season for season 16. And I mean, we've got new classifications for the classes, like new like passive abilities that they've kind of distributed to them. We've got the Nemesis in here. I think the biggest thing that people are really hype about is Team Deathmatch. We've got the mixtape playlist that's coming after Team Deathmatch that's going to have Control and what's the other mode?
Gun Run,
yeah, and Deathmatch, all of it rotating. In terms of like the maps, how they're going to be structured, they're going to be rotating more. Is it more frequently, or like all the maps are going to be up essentially now?
I don't know. I'm not sure how it works. I mean, I know in Titanfall, it was just like all the modes. You would just queue for mixtape, and then you would get something. Like you would just get a mode. Yeah, it would be a map or a mode or whatever. I don't know how it's going to do in Apex. I don't know if it's going to be bi-weekly or whatever, but basically it's going to be 3 modes that will rotate, and it'll be TDM or Gun Run or Control.
Yeah. So I guess I'll let you kind of run this wherever you want to start. You know, we do have the classes up on screen: Assault, Skirmisher, Recon, Controller, and Support. And a lot of these classes, you can probably guess who are in most of them. Like
they never like changed they never rebalanced characters in such a way that they were like, oh, like you used to be. A lot of people are using you for control reasons, but now you're an assault. They never did anything like that. So basically, if you played Apex before, you would you know who's who. Like you're like, oh, Watson's obviously gonna be a control class.
A controller.
Cause
especially controls.
So, yeah. So the biggest changes for season 16 are gonna be the redefined classes and also I guess the new gun, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
TDM is like I guess technically new, but it's TDM and it's kind of got an Apex spin on it, so it's not. It's probably not what you're expecting it to be. Honestly, at least it wasn't for me when I got to TDM.
I saw I actually watched a tournament over this weekend. It was some of the larger streamers who play Apex with the pros who play Apex, of course, mixed into different teams. And it was interesting, it was, the way that you can, it obviously cycles through the maps and everything, but having it be, 6-on-6 on the same size maps of Arena. It's not like they just changed those maps. They're the same. The spawn points, when you die, you can spawn behind a team. It's random. So there's a random element to there, but the rotations were insane. Teams sometimes there were stalemates that were happening with long range battles because the loadouts you choose from, I think, 5 or 6 loadouts, kind of a mix between.
They changed the loadouts change per match is the thing too.
Yeah. So that kept it really fresh. And it was honestly, I enjoyed watching it. It was just like fast paced. I really enjoyed watching it.
Have you played it?
I have not played it though. I've not played it. It's up.
I think played it's a bunch.
First to 50 kills.
It's first to 50. First team to 50.
Yeah.
So I played a couple. I played a couple matches at TBM. It needs work, I would say right now. I've had a couple matches where, how to explain it? It was like, so there's a problem. The biggest problem that I have with TDM right now is that there's no like timer or anything, or there's no fill is the thing. So you can join a match and it'll be 6v6, but if that match is going on very slowly, like both teams are kind of turtling, they're not being really aggressive. It's a lot of poking, a lot of sniping.
Which is what I saw in one game. That was crazy.
That match is going to go on for a very, 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 very long time because the first 50 kills.
It's 50, yeah, it's 50, and that like unless someone decides to push in a an actual good manner.
Yeah, and then if you push, then maybe it work out for you, but you could also be feeding kills to the other team, right?
Exactly.
But that's the biggest problem. Well, what's one of the problems is that there's no timer. So if both teams are being really conservative, it's going to be an extremely long match just because not that many kills are happening. That's the problem. Similar to that is there's no fill. So if a lot of members of one team or both teams were like, I can't, this is boring, I quit, they leave the match, it's going to slowly become imbalanced. It'll be like 4v6, then 3v5, and then 2v4. And it'll be worse and worse as people leave. Because like if you see half your team leaves, you're likely to be like, oh, I'm not staying. This is bad for me. I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And then the match swings in a bad way, and you're not going to get more team members. You're just probably going to quit, and then that team just gets the win by default.
I mean that makes sense. I mean we saw that with arenas early on, and they had to kind of implement a penalty for leaving the match, right? But that took a while,
but still, the thing is, I can understand like. I don't think that's the right solution though, because if a match is going on for like 20 plus minutes. I wouldn't blame
Phil. This is just Phil.
I wouldn't blame you for leaving the match. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess the best way is every other death match or any other kind of, this is, an arcade kind of shooter like moment or arena kind of. I mean, you would fill those people into those matches.
And there's also a timer too. It's like first to 50, but also 20 minutes or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like if you play Call of Duty or whatever, even TDM, it's not first to 30. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's probably a timer on that, right?
According to their kind of rules, at least on the site right now, it is. Are there no? Is it just one round? Pick your loadout on spawn. Oh gosh. Why did I just...
for Apex? Yeah, there's no timer, but I mean for Call of Duty. For Call of Duty.
Yeah, those have timers. Those actually, those count down.
Exactly.
There's an actual round count. Like you and most of the time the kills get up there quicker, faster.
Yeah,
but
exactly. So it's like first to 30 or who has the most kills at the end of 20 minutes. It's one
hard,
of the two.
It's hard to find a whole team that's going to be sniping, but you can find a whole team sniping in this mode on Apex. Like that's feasible.
Yeah, I was in a match like 2 nights ago and both teams were primarily sniping and it was a sniper fight and it was like really slow.
I guess the way they wanted to mitigate it a little bit was, it says here that shield regen automatically, but then they also, I know, only have there's no bats, right? It's just health.
It sells. I'm sorry. It's syringes. It's just syringes and medkits. Syringes and medkits.
Yeah. So that, should take a little bit longer, but if you're long range,
if you're conservative, like you can easily just
it's fine.
So that's the biggest problem that I have with TDM right now, and I think it at the very minimum it needs a timer. So that
would be.
So first to 50, and the match is like 50. Let's say 20 minutes. That's fine, right? 20 minutes. So
20 minutes.
So whoever has the most kills at the end of 20 minutes, they win. It's ridiculous. Like it's. I was playing on the weekend and our team was doing reasonably well. I don't want to call it a stomp, but we were doing really well, right?
Yeah.
And what happened was we just found that the enemy team was slowly one by one quitting until there was like one person left, and it was like 3 people on my team versus the one person on the other team, and we were just like,
that one person's like, yo.
We were like hunting them down. We were just like, oh, let's finish this. Let's get this over with. I want to leave. Let's just kill this guy 10 more times.
10 more times.
But they were like hiding, and I'm like, oh god, I can't. This is like,
I think this is one of the issues with Apex. And honestly, like after seeing the fact that that they're gonna have this mixtape mode, I think that's amazing. That's awesome, because you would usually kind of be like, okay, there's the BR, and then there's the rank, and then if you want to take a break and just chill in some other modes, now you've got 3 modes that are coming here. That'll be on rotation that you can break with. But it is frustrating when the break mode becomes the bigger frustration. You know what I mean? Like you want it to work, and they are looking at this mode. They are, they always say, like, when they introduce a new mode, we're looking at it, we're looking to make changes. But it is something that it's still not their main focus. Even we saw with arenas, it took a while for them to kind of balance it a bit.
Yeah, and I don't really think arenas took off, which is why it no longer exists, right?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's replaced completely. I think.
Yeah, the maps are the same. They're using the maps, but they're not using. Like arenas is gone basically.
I think it was just because it was so team focused. Like it was highly team focused, in some ways almost more competitive than like actually VR. It was very competitive.
Yeah, it was intense because there's no third party or anything, so it was 3v3. It needed a lot of teamwork.
Yeah.
And if you're just like, if you were like, oh, I want to get a bunch of kills, arenas is not the place to do it.
It's not the place to do it. You need.
Yeah. Because there's no respawns or anything, and like, I don't know. Anyways, the point is like TDM is fine. It does need work, I believe. It's not quite what I expected. If I could change it to the way that I want it to be, which is, I mean, probably what most people don't want it, but it would be nice to pick your own loadout. So when you start the round, it's like, which of these 5 loadouts do you want? And you're like, oh, this one's fine, I guess, or whatever, right? And you can you switch every respawn. But I would like it so you just choose a loadout for TDM, and you drop in with that loadout. So you're like, I want this gun, these attachments, or whatever. That's how I want. I can understand why you would want it, because then it would be fucking just all wingmans all day, and that would be very fun.
Wingmans everywhere.
That would be very fun.
Wingmans everywhere.
Yeah, I can see why they don't do that, because we're like, oh, I'm going to use a wingman, obviously, but like, I don't know. I would like to go in with guns that I'm very what's the word, like, comfortable with.
Yeah, that you're comfortable with. I don't think everyone usually plays all the guns, you usually have
so when I like start
like.
a game, when I start a game and it's like, here's your loadouts, I'm like, oh, I like the R99, but I don't like this gun. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll just use, I won't switch. I'll only reload my gun. I won't switch. So I'm like, I'll do that or something like that. So I wish I could choose my loadout, and also I wish the maps were
bigger. Yeah, I guess Skull Town, it would be the somewhat like the bigger of,
because they're just arenas maps. So if you played arenas, if you've ever played arenas, those are the maps. So so arenas was 3v3. So if you were playing arenas and you're like,
and now it's 6v6,
3v3, it's the exact same map, but just double the people.
But I mean, we saw this. I mean, we know for whatever reason they have a very low capacity or will to want to make or adjust maps.
Well, just do what they used to do, where they just take
make
a
it
slice
bigger?
out of BR. Just take a BR map and slice, like,
Which we've seen that. We saw that with the estate arenas map.
With control. We did that with control. We saw that control.
They definitely have that. So I think, hopefully they'll be on it, because I think people want to be hype about this mode. I think that's the biggest thing that they were kind of pushing a little bit, along with these revamped classes. Like we said, they're not really revamped so much.
Well, they just have better abilities.
They have better abilities.
Yeah, they have better abilities. So yeah, what is it? It was assault, and assault can carry more ammo, and now there's red bins, and you can open those red bins, and it'll be like combat attachments. It'll be like better stocks, better bolts, better barrel stabilizers, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Skirmisher can see the inside of a care package, which is very meh, right?
It is. They got the myth one, and that's you know. Octane.
And then what else? And then there's Recon, and Recon, it basically has the ability of the map room, which was like a big scan that shows the location of enemy players.
I thought that the way they split Recon and Controller was actually kind of nice.
Yeah. So Controller, So previously, Recon, like Legends, like Pathfinder and Bloodhound, they were able to identify the location of the next ring.
Right.
That ability is now the Controller ability. And Recon has the map room ability, which shows where enemies are as opposed to where the ring is going to be.
Which is cool.
Yeah, and then the last one is going to be support, which is opening the blue bins, which was previously a lifeline perk.
Which now belongs to
everybody. Yeah.
So for support you've got Lifeline, Loba.
Belongs to all the support classes.
All the supports, Lifeline, Loba, Gibraltar, Newcastle. Controllers are Caustic Watson, Rampart, Catalyst, Recon, Bloodhound, Crypto, Seer, Vantage. Like I said, these are what they were pretty much anyways. Skirmisher, Wraith, Valkyrie, Octane, Horizon, Mirage, Pathfinder, and then Assault. You got Bangalore, Ash, Fuse, Mad Maggie, and Revenant. So, I mean, yeah, this is the first season we don't have a new legend. And
I'm happy though. I'm glad. I don't think this this season needed a new legend, and I think it let them focus on quality of life changes. Yeah,
the
like
game,
making the game better. Yeah,
finally.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see like they revamped the screen,
Yeah.
and like what I did remember is like, man, it's getting really crowded on this screen, and we
It
had
looks
this,
better now. Yeah,
you know, and they don't have to keep pushing out these legends. We still even have the mobile legends that we don't know where those 2 exclusive ones where they're gonna go, if they're gonna come to the main game. It would be nice if they just throw them in there. You know, I don't think it's, you know, they're not reworking toolkits or anything. So, you know, it's like you said, they finally got to focus on quality of life. Ranked, they're working on the SMB, or, you know, skill-based matchmaking system. They're changing that up a little bit, or doing away with it. That's in progress, which is really cool. But how's the new weapon? Because like I said, I haven't played. Is it a Titanfall?
How is the new weapon?
Is it a previous Titanfall weapon as the previous ones?
No,
or
it's a brand new weapon. It was on.
Oh,
it
wow.
was on Titanfall. Yeah.
This is a new. Okay.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
How is it? It's good. Too good. It's disgusting. No, it's gross.
How good is it?
It's too good. It's fucking broken.
This reminds me of what was it? The charge rifle came out, like just everyone had a charge rifle. What else was broken? Peacekeeper was broken at one point.
Well, I mean, most guns were broken at some point, and they tuned them to be a little more under control.
The alternator with the whatever attachment.
Disrupt rounds.
Yeah, boy, everyone's pew-pewing. So this is worse than that, I assume.
Well, it's okay. So it's a burst weapon.
Okay.
But those bursts are really fast and extremely damaging. So in 4 clean bursts, if you land all the bullets, in 4 clean bursts, it will down someone with a full red shield. Like it's so powerful.
Jeez. Okay, so this is so the new energy class assault rifle comes, like you said, in fires 4-round burst or per burst, and
with a ramping burst delay. Yeah. That decreases time between bursts and simulates a full auto weapon.
Wait, so what? It's a full automatic.
So they're really fast bursts. That's what I mean. Like they're extremely fast bursts, like really fast.
I mean, I guess it essentially goes with, it is an energy weapon, and that's kind of one of the weapons they've always had to kind of balance a little bit more. You know, we saw the L-Star went from weak to going a little bit insanely crazy. We saw the Havoc. We saw the Havoc doing laser beams from midway, long range across the map. So I guess it makes sense that, you know, it comes out strong. It's fine. That way they can tune it back in incrementals.
Like imagine the Hemlock times like on turbo. Like if you could put a turbocharger on a Hemlock.
Like, why would I put a turbocharger on a Hemlock?
Like the bursts are like so fast.
Yo, is that not just a Prowler? Like a fully auto Prowler?
I think it's fast. I think it's not not quite like full auto Prowler, but like in terms of the burst weapons, like it's like the time between those bursts are extremely fast. Yeah. Which is funny because the Hemlock is a red weapon this season. The Hemlock is in the crate. But I don't know, man. I'm convinced that the Nemesis is just like, it's worse.
It looks like a Hemlock. Like I'm looking at it right now on the stream, just a little bit from the trailer. It looks like an energy Hemlock, but it fires like a 99.
Basically.
But it fires like a burst 99.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you haven't tried it, you should try it later. I mean, just go into the firing range. Just go in the firing range and like hold it down. So what you want to do with the Nemesis is like don't burst it like you would a Hemlock or a Prowler.
Yeah.
Hold the trigger down. Like keep holding the trigger and it'll just burst for you. It'll just burst and like it's insane. Yeah.
I don't even, I mean, honestly, this season I actually feel like, you know, I've been on at least a 1.5 year break from Apex. I actually feel like going back. You know, I've been on Pokemon Unite for 600 hours plus, almost 700.
That's so many. That's disgusting.
I'm on 650 for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I'm actually like, okay, you know, I'm actually kind of like, this seems pretty cool. It's a nice little point to jump back in.
It is a very good point to jump back in. If you're a brand new player, if you've heard of Apex Legends, and you're like, I don't want to get my ass kicked or whatever. So they're changing the way that matchmaking works for new players, where they're introducing bot matches for the first time. So if you are on a fresh account, you're brand new, your first couple of matches are going to be with bots. So you actually get to experience how BR works, and maybe you're going to get a win or two, and then they dump you into the
chaos.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I mean, I guess they're called orientation matches, but it's nice, you know. It's I think that's something that needed to be done because, you know, it's a very popular game and people want to I know people come into my stream who are, you know, they're playing Apex, they're like, "Man, game suck, man." I finally think it's dying. People want this game to die, and I'm like, "No, this game is not dying. It's fine. It is still doing gangbuster numbers on viewers and everything like that. Tournaments are still lit." I just think, you know, we're finally in that point where like players who started with the game in year 1, maybe year 2, maybe this is their time to come back.
Yeah,
or,
it's
definitely,
it's a good season to come back to Apex. It's a good season to start with Apex.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really happy that this is the first season that they have not introduced a new legend, which let them focus on other aspects of the game, like the rebalancing of the classes and bot matches for sure. And then just making it easier for people to jump in. So
it really does, yeah, and it really does allow every like not just them to breathe a little bit more. It allows us to breathe as players. You know what I mean? It allows us to not have to. Well, here's another legend we have to learn the matchup against, or here's another legend that's going to be kind of dominant. Maybe I need to change this. And they're introducing community rewards too. So definitely go ahead if you are interested in Apex. Go ahead, check it out. It's a fun game, honestly.
It can be fun. It's sometimes fun. Yeah,
it's sometimes fun. I mean, but here's the thing: even if there's like some randoms or something, it's not MOBA level. You're gonna pull your hair out. You're fine.
Well, ideally, I mean, depends on the type of gamer you are. Yeah,
ideally.
It's been fun. I've been playing like pretty often recently. I'm all the time actually. I've been playing pretty often. But this season's pretty good. It's nice. The one thing I'm really happy about this season is every map now has Mirage Voyage. If you remember that from whatever season it was.
Oh yeah, party on.
The party barge. Yeah.
So you get to drop on that party barge forever.
It's back. So that the party barge is back on like every single map in rotation, and it's just a fun place to drop. I like it. It's a good concentration of bins, and it's tight. So if you're looking for a really fast gunfight just to drop hot and just get a couple kills, that's where you want to drop. So
there you go. That's the place, man. And moving on, we've got another anniversary. Like I said, 10 years for Metal Gear Rising. And it came out on February 19th, 2013.
Such a long time ago.
Why is it's so freaking long time ago?
I remember not struggling, but I remember having a hard time getting that game because it was not, I don't think it is not actually available on Steam in Japan.
Is it? No, it has to be because I bought it here in Japan.
Did you?
Yeah. I think I bought it here in Japan.
I had to VPN for. I'm gonna go check right now for you. If you go to Steam, let me just tab out to my other browser.
I feel like it is because I don't think I bought it in the US.
So if you go to steampower.com, and am I on the Japanese?
Where do I even own that game?
Yeah, this is yen. This is yen.
Do I own this game twice? I think I own this game twice. I owned it.
Yeah, Metal Gear Rising does not show up on the Japanese store.
What did I guess I bought it while I was in the US or something because this was the second game. Well, like I stream 2 games a month. This was my first 2 games I streamed ever on Twitch.
You probably bought it in the US. Same with Tales of Berseria because Tales of Berseria is not on Steam.
That I did buy in the US. Yeah. That I did buy in the US. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to, I mean, this only applies to anyone in Japan right now. But if you go to steampower.com and your region is set to Japan, it won't come up if you type for Metal Gear Rising. If you type in Metal Gear, however, I mean, what does show up? Metal Gear Survive, Metal Gear.
Should get 5 and Phantom.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5 and Rising and probably Ground Zeroes. Is Ground Zeroes? Ground Zeroes should show up.
Ground Zero should be there. Yeah, they should all be there. I mean,
Ground Zero shows up. Yeah.
I mean, this is one of those games where I think, and it's something I've noticed this year. There's a lot of action games coming out this year. I mean, we got Wolong, like, because now the action genre is kind of fused into like Souls-likes, you know what I mean? And we got Wolong coming in March. We had Hi-Fi Rush in February. We've got Lies of P coming in like the later half of this year.
Oh, I forgot about that. That's insane. What a weird
Yeah,
game.
there's
What a
a
concept.
couple. There's a couple of those. You know, we had Bayonetta last year at the very end in like November or whatever. Bayonetta 3. And it's been a really great time if you've played action games, and if you have not played this game,
it's really fun.
Honestly, I like it more than
so
Bayonetta. I like it more than Bayonetta.
Fun.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid, and it knows it's stupid, and it
Yeah.
goes all the way in on it.
Yeah, so basically, okay, so today is the anniversary of Metal Gear Rising, and after hearing this news, I actually went on my Steam Deck and I downloaded it. So I was playing right before the podcast, actually. I was playing, before dinner and before the podcast. I was playing Metal Gear Rising on my Steam Deck, and by the way, the game is really fun. It's still good, 10 years on.
Still good?
It plays very, very well. That being said, though, it runs well on a Steam Deck, but also it's tough to play on a Steam Deck. The screen is kind of small, and it was tough. You can't read text, basically. It's a lot of text is illegible on the Steam Deck. It's too small, honestly. But the gameplay is it runs at a solid 60 frames, and it's still just a very, very fun game. So I got past the intro. I just beat the Blade Wolf.
Okay.
And the gameplay still holds up. It's good gameplay. It's really good gameplay. Yeah.
It's literally the concept of. I mean, I think the whole concept was what you're looking at right now. Zansatsu or something, Zan whatever, which is just Zandatsu. Just keep cutting, cut in any way you want to, any way, any direction for certain moments. And I think that's what keeps it. Some things like that keep it fun. Even if you're not good with the game, when you get to a moment like that, you're like, oh, just hit it. Just do it.
The game is really rewarding because there's actually, so there's no block button in this game. There's no block and there's no dodge.
There's a parry, correct?
There's a parry. That's the only way to not take damage is to parry.
The tails are really good. The tails are very good
tails, yeah.
Yeah.
So as you play through the game, you should ideally get really good at parrying just attacks. And that is a really, really good gameplay loop because once you get a successful parry, it charges your slowdown meter, like your Zandatsu meter, your free cut meter, your FC, free cut. So if you do a successful parry, you can slow time and you can enter that free cut mode, and you'll just you can dice an enemy into 100 pieces.
Honestly, I feel like that's one of the appeals is that dice, I don't know. There's something about the feeling, even when you kind of rip the cores out of they're not cores, but the kind of
the spines. You rip the spine out of an enemy.
Oh my goodness, it feels so.
It does like a speed ramp. Yeah, I don't know if you could show it on screen, but if you can imagine this, so you block a sword strike or whatever, you can slow time down, so the enemy is now kind of faltering in slow motion, and then you can freely cut them, and they're falling in slow motion, and you're dicing in normal speed, and then you can rip their spine out, and it is like a speed ramp. So Raiden reaches in really fast, but when he rips the spine out, it kind of slows down a little bit, and then he just crushes it in his hand, and you get a full. Yeah, and then you get it heals you. That heals you too.
And it heals you. And every time you do it, every time I did it on stream, I did the animation with it because it's satisfying. It is actually satisfying.
Yeah. So it's a really satisfying gameplay loop of rewarding. You feel very rewarded of successfully parrying an enemy strike. You feel really good because you're yeah, I did it. Fuck you. And you're also and then you're crushing this dude's spine or whatever. And the gameplay is just super fun. It holds up really well after 10 years. So
and it's it takes that wackiness that we've always had in Metal Gear series with the characters being I would say in Metal Gear they're pseudo serious. They're pseudo serious.
This is they're we don't give a shit. I don't we're gonna write dumb whatever.
We don't even care what you're fighting sometimes, man.
We don't care.
Some of the bosses are just
Raiden has that racist Mexican.
Oh my gosh, when that happened, I was like, this cannot happen again, right?
You can't just put this.
We can't put this in here again, right? Please don't tell me.
Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's a part of the game where Raiden tries to put on a disguise
and go to Mexico.
He's just wearing a poncho. He's just wearing a poncho. Yeah.
Gosh, I want to find it. I think this is the full playthrough, but my gosh,
it's so ridiculous.
Did I just pass an anime girl too in here?
And you just it's like a cyborg ninja wearing a poncho and a sombrero, and that's his disguise.
Oh, and he finds that little kid too.
Yeah,
he finds a little kid, and it's just yo, man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It was borderline racist, but at the same time, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh,
So that's.
here's the kid. Here's the kid.
Can you find
Oh.
the disguise?
I think the disguise is like right before here somewhere. Oh yeah. So that's the kid. This is like the
Yeah.
equivalent of when Resident Evil went to Africa. Yeah, it's like the equivalent of that almost. But
Yeah. So this is the kid, and then Raiden
yeah,
puts
he's
on
got that
a poncho. Yeah.
sombrero. When he cuts out the car, we'll see it. The dog was really sweet. I gotta say the
Oh, Blade Wolf. Yeah.
Blade Wolf, that was a cool little companion for literally something that was an enemy.
Spoiler alert. Yeah.
If you're still not spoiled on this game, if you
Yeah,
do wanna go,
it's like 30 minutes into the game. It's like he's like the first boss fight basically. But
it's not too far. So
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, and of course we can't mention this game without saying the senator fight.
The speech, the end,
The speech.
So I'm pretty sure
that speech
Okay.
came true. I'm gonna tell you right now. The
Yeah.
speech. Not only I did find the poncho.
Okay. So the speech, the senator speech, I think is a meme to hell at this point. That's fucking the poncho. Yeah.
Here's I'm gonna put the senator speech on here.
So
It's Trump. He literally says, "Make America great again."
you know what's interesting about this speech is that it's not quite to that level in the Japanese
It can't
version.
be. 8.4 went too darn ham on this.
Yeah, 8.4 is so 8.4 is a localization team responsible for this game, but also you might have known them from like Nier Automata and like Undertale if you're playing in Japanese because they also did the English to JP for Undertale, but
Yeah.
they wrote the speech essentially.
Yeah.
So you have 8.4 to thank for this speech, and this speech has been like memed to like all hell.
It's too true.
This speech has been so memed, yeah, at this point.
Look at this. Where the law changes to suit the individual, not the other way around. We live in this world today. I kid you not. This is
Yeah, this is America. This is America, man. This is
where the
America.
power and justice are back where they belong in the hands of the people.
Of the people.
This man led the January 6th riot.
Don't
I ain't
fucking
gonna
say
lie.
that. Don't fucking say that, dude. Don't fucking say that.
This fictional character, Hagar. It's crazy. Don't worry, he played football. He's good. He played football.
I mean, that's not necessarily true, but like O.J. Simpson played football. Yeah. So the 8.4 wrote the speech to this fight basically, this is the final boss fight. Spoiler alert. Yeah, Senator fucking Armstrong. I don't know, dude. It's a good game. Mechanically, gameplay wise, it's a good game. In terms of like the story, it's super hammy. It's like insane. And then it's just been memed to hell. Like now, there's so many memes about it, and the soundtrack is pretty good. If you wanted a soundtrack that's like
The soundtrack,
legitimately
yes.
a good rock soundtrack, it's just this. It's on Spotify, by the way. Just go listen to it.
Just go listen to it. I mean, like it's something about like the way that it layers onto the fights, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
So man, Platinum does this in a lot of they do this in Nier for sure. But like though in a boss fight, it'll start out with like instrumentals and that kind of thing. But like once the boss fight reaches a certain point, like you get to a certain phase or you parry a certain
vocals,
attack, then like the chorus kicks in and like it works really good. So Nier does this with dynamic soundtracks as well. If you remember, the video game, remember the amusement park, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there are parts in Nier when you're in the amusement park and you're like riding the roller coaster, if you remember that part of the game, where the chorus, the main part of that song, will kick in during that sequence, and it's like very dynamic and it's very, very good.
I mean, it's something that just like when you're, especially in this game is very much like it gets your adrenaline going. It really gets your actual adrenaline going when you're in these fights, and when you hear the chorus and you hear everything just kick in for real. The Sam fight is really good too. Like when you hear and you're playing it, I don't know. It's a game that I felt like maybe sometimes at the time of playing I didn't appreciate it as much. But when I go back and I look at it, I'm like, man, I had a lot of fun with this. Like I just had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's a good game. Yeah, so
know?
I reinstalled it on my Steam Deck today just because of the anniversary talk, and I was like, oh, how is Metal Gear Rising? And I was like, it's still good. It's still good. It's still a good game.
Still rising. Yeah,
so it holds up really well. I just don't know. If you want to play Rising now, your options are going to be Steam, I guess, if you're not in Japan, or PS3 or Xbox 360.
It's
So
literally.
I don't know if Konami would do a remaster. They could. They should probably. Honestly,
I don't even know who. I guess it would be Konami's choice, and
it's
then
Konami. It's
Platinum
Konami. It's Konami.
would
Yeah.
develop it again, maybe. So we've got this tweet from Platinum Games for their, and this happened before the actual anniversary. They tweeted this, but yeah, they're teasing a 10th anniversary event, and they did a little some.
Well, that's a
artwork
full
for
remaster
Raiden.
confirmed. No, right?
I don't know. I mean,
What do you want? Do you want Revengeance 2?
Well, that's the thing. Do you want Revengeance 2 or do you want a remaster? Because are they one and the same?
Little open-ended. The ending is a little open-ended.
Who's going to remember that ending? I mean, honestly, they could do a 2 and it would be the same as them redoing 1.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Touch the game. The gameplay is perfect. Like, don't touch the gameplay.
Yeah, they won't. Yeah. You're basically going to be like, oh, well, if you didn't play 1, don't worry. You're basically playing it now, but amped up. Like, you're good. Like,
yeah,
you're
like a different
freaking
story,
good.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I feel like cost wise, I guess maybe it's better for them to do a remaster. I don't know if I don't think they've ever done a remake, or something like in between that. But
well, for Metal Gear Solid, or this for Metal Gear, that would be
for
Twin
Rising,
Snakes.
for Platinum. I don't know if they've updated any of their games to that level.
The closest thing I would probably say is near Replicant. That's the closest thing. It's not quite it's a really good remaster, basically. But I don't think they've done a full remake. Also, Platinum Platinum didn't do Replicant. Sorry.
that was Square, and then
Platinum didn't do Replicant. So I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of wish they did both, but I don't. They don't have that much bandwidth in their studio. I don't.
Yeah,
and
Platinum's really hurt. Honestly, fucking Babylon's Fall.
Square over here killing everything got killed
help
past
them,
month. So I don't know. I would hope for a 2. I would hope for whatever we get, just some nice upgraded graphics with it. Keep it smooth, make it 120 FPS, all the works.
On PC,
yeah. Well, I mean, even on console now, they can do it 100 FPS.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, and I believe both Xbox Series X and PS5 can do
variable refresh.
VVR.
Yeah.
It's 120, right? 120 frames.
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So as long as you have a compatible TV or monitor,
Yeah, like that'd be sick because this game deserves a little bit of something. And the voice actor was teasing, saying like, expect something to come for Raiden. It was like,
Oh, Quentin Flynn.
Yeah, he's like, stay tuned for things to be announced in the coming weeks.
Well, that's
someone replied.
Well, no, then that's confirmed. Then that's
perhaps
basically
a Metal Gear Rising 2, along with the upcoming Metal Gear showcase, might make it.
What would you? If there's gonna be a Revengeance sequel, what do you think is gonna be called? So for the full title is Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. So what's the sequel gonna be called? Metal Gear Rising
Resurgence.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Maybe Resurgence. I don't know.
Yeah. I was thinking like Metal Gear Rising. I don't know, like extra revenge or super vengeance. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, honestly, as long as we get it, I think that would be awesome. That would even make this get. Could you imagine if they just shadow drop it or like drop it within the next 3 or 4 months too?
I wonder Platinum was like. They had a meeting and they're like, all right, guys, Babylon's Fall didn't do very well.
Square's gonna let it go.
We need it's like break and like in a glass case. It's like break in case of emergency and just like Metal Gear Rising 2 and like, have to fucking like we have to do it. Yeah.
We've held on to it for this long. Activate.
Yeah.
Activate.
And they have to fucking. Yeah, so Platinum, like what other than Rising 2, like what other games do you want Platinum to make? Do you want Astral Chain 2 or something like that, or?
I think Astral Chain 2 is probably the one people would like, but they can't. I think now they're stuck in some weird spot in terms of, from what it seems like, Nintendo doesn't have any dev kits out there. There's no new Switch 2 at the moment that we've heard of. So
did you play Astral Chain?
No, it's on my list to play. I'm getting to Breath of the Wild next month. See, I'm starting my journey. So it means that whatever they make, for whatever reason, it's always been on the Switch recently, except for Babylon's Fall.
Yeah, that was on PS5. And
we would have to expect, of course, Astral Chain would be on, it would be on Switch.
I think Nintendo owns Astral Chain.
Yeah, I don't even know.
So yeah, if there's gonna be a new Astro Chain, then Nintendo would have to make it.
It's not like it
Or
ran
not,
bad
let's
on
publish
the.
it, publish it, publish it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I heard anything about it running badly on the Switch. It's just
No,
it's more the fact that like if they want to do more, like how they wanted to do with Bayonetta 3,
yeah,
then
Nintendo
they
has
need to scale back. They gotta scale back. They gotta keep
Yeah.
it the same. Just remix whatever they got,
Astro Chain was a good game. I enjoyed it. I loved it. Got a good aesthetic, good vibe. Combat was pretty fun. I don't know. In terms of my favorite combat from Platinum was
Either my internet died or his internet died, chat.
sorry, I think I died.
Okay, his
Right.
internet died. It wasn't me. We're back.
Yeah, sorry. So if we're talking about combat, if we're talking about like, my favorite combat from Platinum games, it's probably gonna be either what was I saying? Either Rising, or honestly, maybe Bayonetta for my favorite Platinum combat.
Yeah, I could see that. Like I would say Rising. I have a love-hate thing with Bayonetta. Combat, I love it. Combat sequences, sometimes I don't. It's
Okay.
Yeah. So that's where I go. Definitely.
Yeah.
But Witch Time and like some of the pairing stuff with Witch Time, like it's a lot of fun. It's straight up good.
Yeah, I think if we're just talking pure combat like mechanics, it's either Bayonetta or Rising. Astro Chain though is a really good game, just because I enjoyed the aesthetic of it, like how the game, how the world is basically. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Hopefully we get a sequel or we get
So
a remake,
I'm expecting
remaster, something.
Yeah, well, I mean, I didn't know there was an event. I didn't know they announced an event, but now that they announced something, and Quentin Flynn is basically like winking at us.
He's like, "Yo,
yeah, I'm basically expecting something now. What are you expecting? A sequel or a remaster or both? Or like,
what if we just get a soundtrack and some a concert? What if we get a concert? It could literally just be a concert.
I mean, that'd be kind of. I mean, I would go. I'd maybe go to it. That'd be kind of cool. But like,
we might just get a concert.
Yeah, I'm expecting. I'm expecting a remaster. I don't know if I'm expecting a sequel. I don't know. Would you or?
I feel like a remaster is more and like just making it to where everyone can play it is more of a goal than actually making a new one. But I feel like I wish they would make a 2, so then they could actually keep the same mechanics but add more if they wanted to. You know what I mean? Like they could go even more crazy if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, my bet is on a remaster, but I think a sequel would be perfectly fine.
So, yeah. Last up on the news, we're gonna fly through this, but Capcom Cup 9 happened today. Can't believe it's been 9 years since Street Fighter 5.
Wait,
been here
9 since 5?
8 years, I think. Street Fighter
That's way too long.
5 has been out for since PS5. No, so PS4. Sorry, PS4 first year somewhere, second year.
Oh, that's gross.
It's been there. But yeah, I watched some of it today, and Bandits or Menard, or I guess it's Mena RD is actually how you say it, from the Dominican Republic. The only person in the entire 9 years to actually win the whole thing twice. 9 years, the only double repeat champion. And he was playing Luke, and it was against Zen or Shin from China, who was playing Bison. And it was that match was stupid. I gotta say, it's, like towards the end of a fighting game where everyone kind of gets to become like a specialty character. Like it's no longer like, oh, who's the most popular? It's more like the people playing now. It's like, this is my jam. This is who I play. And we had a lot of people who like, the roster of people fighting and who they were fighting against were actually pretty like relatively different. So that happened and it was a lot of fun to watch. But the biggest news coming out of it, of course, was for the next Capcom Pro Tour or Capcom Pro Tour or Capcom Cup. It's of course going to be Street Fighter 6, but the prize earnings are going to be $2 million, 2 million USD, with 1 million of that going to the first place winner.
That's a lot of money. Yeah, that's a lot of money, man.
This right here is more than we've like. Not only was it backing from Capcom themselves, they brought out the COO, like the president of the company.
Really?
Yeah, Sugimoto-san was there, or not the son, but the father. Not the son, but the father.
Oh, you said son as in Japanese son?
Oh, yeah, it was in son.
Okay.
Yeah, he was there, and that's the first time I've ever seen that man. So I was just like, oh snap, He's just at this little Capcom Cup. It's so funny because he announced a $1 million prize pool or $2 million at a place that looked like it cost like, it had like maybe 200-300 people in it.
I know, yeah. So.
But I mean, that's how fighting games are. And I think hopefully now this kind of changes it. The biggest prize that they had before that was like 200, like today he won, I think it was $150,000 or something.
Uh-huh.
And I think next year, if he had won, he could have won $1 million.
It's a lot of money, actually.
Yeah. I mean, coming, in the fighting game community, 50K or less. Remember Evo Japan for Smash Brothers, the winner?
Yeah.
What was it? No, they didn't get money. They got a golden GameCube controller.
Right, I forgot. It's because of Japanese laws, you cannot
Japanese
win.
Law.
Yeah, Japanese laws are so like they're killing esports. You can't thrive basically. They're not allowed to win money.
And yeah, but
I think they considered it not allowed to win money because it was technically falling under gambling, which is illegal in Japan. So yeah.
So this is huge. Capcom backing it. I think currently the Tekken World Tour is for their next one. They announced that like a couple weeks ago, but that's only like 250,000. But that's split, So this is, I think maybe hopefully Bandai Namco is going to go back and revise and do a huge prize pool, because now fighting games with this Project L coming out maybe next year probably, or even the year after that. Riot's going to throw a bunch of money into that for their prizes. I think finally we might be after 10 years or more of fighting game esports, quote, quote, kind of a little bit on par with, MOBA esports finally, like getting there where the steps are finally happening.
Yeah, I mean, MOBA has been big. Like the esports tournaments are like insane. Like they're so big. The events are nuts. But I don't know. Fighting games are getting close, I would say. I mean, Evo at least is probably a pretty big deal. I think Evo rivals some of the bigger tournaments, right? I don't know about prize-wise, but in terms of attendance and
yeah, I think it's definitely gotten much bigger. When is Evo? Let's see how Evo 2023. Evo. Now they don't have a huge prize pool at Evo. I think Evo is probably like 200,000 or something.
Yeah, Evo in terms of money, I don't think Evo is as big. But in terms of, I don't know, how do you put it? Like attendance and like size, I think Evo's like really big.
It's the biggest. Yeah, it's definitely the largest out in Vegas, and that's always been the premier event. And with Sony, I guess, running it and everything else, maybe maybe they'll up those, maybe they'll contribute more. And I don't know. I'm just really excited to the fact that I don't know. It was just like, dang, they did it. Like someone actually decided we're gonna go all in. Like now, if you feel like you can change your life by playing fighting games, go ahead, try it. Go give it a shot.
I mean, that's life advice for anything. If you think you can change your life, do it. If you think you can change your life,
this the real.
Yeah, make your dreams come true. That's the advice today.
That's the advice today. Make your dreams come true. If you think you can change your life.
Thanks, Shia LaBeouf.
Thanks, Shia LaBeouf. Just do it. Just do it, man. I hope he's doing well. I don't know.
I don't know. I heard he was in or out of some kind of therapy or something recently, but yeah.
Well,
he was not doing okay, in the recent years. Actually, I hope he's doing better now. Yeah.
Oh man, I hope so too. But I mean, yeah, that's the show for today. I think it was a pretty good show. Like I said, if you were
the name of this episode, I hope Shai is doing okay.
I hope Shai is doing. I feel like we get more listens on audio when we have a weird title. We just have something.
There you go. That's it. Yeah, I hope Shai is doing okay.
I hope Shai is doing okay today. But yes, so where can they find you on Twitch if they're not looking on stream right now?
Sure. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/root24. It's ROUT24. I don't know. I've been playing super casual chill games recently. I haven't really settled on a game that I'm committed to, but I'm probably going to jump into like an RPG of some kind soon. That being said though, last week I was like, all right, guys, I'm done Power Wash Simulator. I did all the DLC, and there's no more content for Power Wash. And then the night that I finished stream, and I
Final
went on
Fantasy
Twitter.
VII said,
Yeah, and I went on Twitter and they're like FF7 DLC March 2nd. I'm like, oh fuck, oh here we go. So yeah, but I don't know if I want to stream that a lot because it's been a lot of power wash on stream recently, and I don't want to
you know what?
anyone,
But now, but if you know, because it's FF7, you know, people are going to be just browsing power wash stream.
just to watch me clean
Just to watch
Seven Heaven Bar. Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
go clean it.
But I mean, I don't know. I want to play. I don't want to play. I want to play some kind of JRPG. There's a lot of my backlog. A lot I can check out on stream. I have a lot of stuff that I bought over the Steam sale during Christmas. So I don't know. Keep an eye out. If you like JRPGs, come hang out. Even if you don't, I don't know. Still come hang out. We talk about VTubers a lot, so I mean that's kind of cool.
Yeah, definitely. Go ahead, follow him. Root24 on Twitch, streaming every Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Yeah, I had to change my stream days because they were interfering with my life. So I had to change my stream days. So it's Wednesday, Thursday now. Yeah, JST.
So definitely give our boy a follow, and you can follow me on Twitch at Ninja Trickster. And I am playing. I'm almost done with Village now, which I've got a little bit left in terms of I gotta do the DLC and like the last fight, I believe, last two fights plus the DLC,
and then you're gonna move on to Breath of the Wild.
Then I'm moving on to Breath of the Wild next month. Finishing up. What am I finishing up? Actually, I'm finishing up Village and Hi-Fi Rush this week.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah.
And then
any games that you want to play, like just in general, like not even for stream.
Oh, not what? For stream or anything like that.
Just for life. Yeah.
For life. Honestly, there was a free trial for what is it called? Marvel's Midnight Suns. Over the weekend.
The card game was that?
I wanted to check that out last year when it came out, and I did the trial. It's actually a lot of fun. I heard it's fun. It's got like this nice little, it looks. I bought it on Steam, or I downloaded it on Steam Deck. I didn't buy it yet. And it looks great. It runs fine. I'm having a fun time with it so far, and that's one I bought Returnal, so I'm definitely going to be playing that one. So I think those are the two games I've been pretty interested in and playing. Maybe something else. I don't know. Breath of the Wild is probably going to occupy a lot of my time.
Chrono Trigger. Play Chrono Trigger, dude. Chrono Trigger.
Oh yeah, I play it off stream. Like that.
Yeah, play it off stream. It's
I already own it too.
Yeah, just play. It's not even. It runs so good on Steam Deck. So I know you have one of those.
It runs. I hope it runs good on Steam Deck.
Yeah, it runs really good on Steam Deck, and it's not a long game, dude. If you're just gonna do the main boss, you're not gonna do the secret boss kind of thing. It's like 25 hours, 30 hours, not a long game. So.
They're not bad. Like old school RPGs, they're not bad. Yeah. They're not bad. So, anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Remember, you can follow us on Twitter at ugp_cast, and if you want to follow us on Twitch, you can also find us at ugp_cast. We stream both on Twitch and YouTube. So leave a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will catch you next week for episode 159 of the Unknown Games podcast, where eventually one of us will, I don't know, maybe we'll succeed at cleaning.
Yeah, maybe. See you then. Find out. Don't miss an episode. Find out. All right. See you guys next time.
See you next time.
Yeah, peace.